Hello and welcome to your practice. This class will be a slow moving flow. It will work through your joints and you'll be close to the floor, so there's not a lot of exertion required in this class. So the idea here is to move at a steady pace and just see how it feels in your body. Okay, so to begin this class, let's start in a child's pose. Your knees can be narrow or wide, and your hands out in front of you or by your sides. Just allow your hips to move towards the heels here and stretch your hands forward. You may feel good resting your chin on the floor or maybe your forehead. And let your body settle in this space. Taking note of any areas that feel tight or a little strange, or offering some sensation that feels unique. Notice how your breath feels. Taking time here to drop in. To slow down the breath. To set an intention for your practice. Now with your in-breath, press your hands into the floor and pull them back a little so they're underneath your shoulders, and your knees, move them just underneath your hips. Keep your toes tucked here. I'd like you to simply make small circles around the wrists, clockwise and counterclockwise. Just checking in with the wrist joints, moving slowly and deliberately. Big circles or small circles. Okay, now turn your fingers to point outside the long sides of the mat and turn the inner elbows to face one another. Let's press into the floor to protract the scapula, spreading the shoulder blades apart and doming your upper back. And then lean slightly over to your right and then over to your left. Following your breath in and out through your nose. Let's turn the fingertips to point the knees. If this is quite intense for your wrists and your forearms, walking your knees closer to your fingers removes some of that intensity. Now, even if it is accessible for you, and usually you get a lot of nice stretch through the forearms by taking that intense space, see how it feels to remove some of that intensity, to bring more softness into the body. Okay, now flip the hands so fingertips are still pointing the knees. And same again, checking in with the sensations that are presenting themselves to you in this moment. And breathing softly in and out through your nose. Now back to the original position of your hands, fingertips pointing forward. Find your knees directly underneath your hips and allow your hands to walk out in front of you, stretching them far forward, tilting your tailbone up to the sky and allowing the chest to slowly melt and lower towards the floor. Now keep it very slow here. No rush to reach the destination. Instead, See how it feels every step of the journey down towards the floor. Perhaps the forehead on the floor, the chin, or maybe you're a little lifted. With every exhale, see how much you can soften. Softening in the face, the abdomen, the chest, the shoulders. Next breath in, pull your hands back underneath your shoulders. And let's move through a few rounds of cat-cow, lifting your tail and your head up towards the sky, allowing your navel to fall low, soft through the spine. Breathe out, tucking the tailbone, rolling up bone by bone. Head last, chin tucks in towards the chest, gaze between the legs. Breathing in, the tail moves first, slowly and deliberately moving up the spine, head and gaze lifting last. Now with your body in this cow position, imagine your spine like a hammock and press the spine over towards the left side and then press the spine over towards the right. Left, swinging from side to side like a pendulum, breathing in and breathing out. Allowing your body to be guided by your breath. And the next time you move over to your right side, press the spine up, full circle, we come into our cat pose. And then press the ribs over to the left. We arch the spine into cow. Inhale. And exhale, pressing your hands, doming your back in cat. Barrel rolls with the rib cage here. Moving into the sides of the body, sending breath there. Let's change direction. Press the ribs over to the left and up and around. Few circles here. And coming back into your tabletop. Cow pose, big breath in. Exhale, cat pose. Knees wide, toes touching, hips back towards the heels. Stretch your hands forward, child pose. Allowing yourself to move into stillness, taking pressure off of your wrists, your fingers, your arms, resetting, preparing to rise again. Pull the hands underneath the shoulders, neutral spine, tabletop, knees underneath the hips again. Let's move into the hip joint here. So what I'd like you to do is bring your knee towards your forearm, okay, your right knee, and then take it out to the side. Not too much exertion here. And then rotating the hip up. And it feels as though you're planting your right foot on the ceiling. Okay, that flex in the ankle. Nice strong leg. And then knee towards the forearm again. Keeping that foot flexed, your arms straight, doming through your upper back to irradiate tension through the body so that we can take all of this attention into the hip socket. And then we come back, planting that foot on the ceiling. Draw your navel in, ribs in, and then knee to forearm. One more time, just like that. Knee out to the side, rotating the femur, planting the foot on the ceiling, and then knee to forearm. Change in direction. Equal weight pressed in through both hands. This time we move the right foot up and then out to the side, and then all the way around to the forearm, and then back up again, our second round. Keep breathing. Stay firm through the body, noticing where in your body is compensating for this movement. Are you shifting your torso to one side or the other? See if you can keep it into the center. And then release. Knee meets the left knee. Okay, second side. Left knee presses into the forearm, and then take it out to the left, and then up, rotating the knee down to the floor, pressing the sole of the foot up, and then down and in towards the forearm. Second round, full circle, and exhale, knee to forearm. Last one, inhale, and exhale, reverse. Press the foot up, and then out to the left, and then to the forearm. Second round, inhale. Keep pressing firm through both hands. Flex through the left foot. Last round, inhale. And exhale. Okay, take your knees wide, toes touching, all of that tension out of the arms. Stretch your hands forward and see if you can flip the hands and point them towards the sky. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, now sliding the hands back under the shoulders. Let's take it into the shoulder joint. Let's start with the left side this time. So left hand stretches forward by your bicep, by your ear, and then keep your shoulders facing the floor, your chest, your ribs facing the floor, and rotate your left arm up and then back and then forward. Okay, and then again up. 3 rounds. You can create a fist with the left hand. Don't worry so much about how deep or how far you can go with this, or how little the rotations are. What we're doing here is lubricating the joints and creating some space. Okay, change in directions. Pressing into the right hand. Now take the left arm back towards the hips. Rotate the palm faces out, up and over. And notice the engagement you need in your core to maintain this shape in the torso. And again, second round. Don't forget to breathe. Take your whole mind into the shoulder here. Good. Okay, now plant that left hand down, right arm by your ear. What a relief. Inhale, we rotate up and back. Okay, noticing here my right shoulder doesn't have as much space as my left. So my ribs are flaring out to the right. So consciously pressing the right rib cage down to dig out more space in my shoulder. Okay, that's 3. Change in directions. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more rounds. Staying firm through the core. Holding your low ribs in. Core is strong. And release. Child's pose again. Knees wide, toes touching. Release. Hands stretch forward and rest your forehead on the floor. And just taking note of how your shoulders and hips feel after those movements. Noticing how child's pose feels in comparison to when you first did it in this practice. Now adding on, inhale, rise up, tabletop. Okay, now with the right foot, press the foot up to the sky. Take the right knee out to the side, just as we did before, but this time, stamp your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Nice. Okay, pausing here. Walk your hands forward. Allow the hips to move forward and back. Now let's walk those hands over to the top left corner of your mat. Stretch your right fingertips long, feeling space being created through the right side of the body, rib cage. Breathe into the intercostal muscles between the ribs. Maybe stretch the left fingertips forward. As you breathe out, soften through the chest. Breathe in fully. Exhale. Let's walk our hands forward again. Left hand under left shoulder, right hand stretches up towards the ceiling. Breathing in space from fingertips to fingertips. And let's hold on to the base of the skull with our right fingertips. And as you exhale, press the right elbow towards the left. So a little rotation through the spine here, a little rounding as well. Inhale, open, exhale, rotate. Inhale, and exhale. Last time, inhale. Stretch the fingers all the way up to the sky and keep moving the fingers all the way back to the room behind you. And let's see if you can step your left knee back an inch or so. So we're moving off of the kneecap. And then see if you can bend your knee, pull your left heel in towards your glutes. And if your foot is there, hold on to it. If it's not, reach for it. Rotation through the spine, squeeze the shoulder blades together as you gaze up towards the sky. Leaning back, pressing your chest forward. Nice, exhale. Release gently the back foot, the right hand. And as you bring your right hand forward, see if you can straighten out your right knee. Inhale, plant the left hand, moving through that a couple of more times with breath. Inhale, exhale. Keep your right foot flexed. Inhale, reach for the foot. Last time, exhale. Okay, let's plant into that right foot. Lift the left knee A little momentum, rocking back and forward, and then step your left foot outside the left hand and find your way into your passive squat. And don't worry if your heels are lifted at this point, but press your elbows in towards your thighs, broaden through the collarbones. And if your hips are lifted, that's absolutely fine. But finding a space that moves you somewhat out of a place of intensity. Okay, we rise up, inhale, press into the floor to rise. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to the chest. Inhale, arms lift, sweep to the sky. Exhale, hands to the chest. Now keep your feet nice and wide. Maybe a little wider than the mat if that feels okay. Knees can be gently soft, a little bend there. And interlace your hands behind your back. Okay, now can you press your palms towards one another? Now that's absolutely fine if your elbows are bent here. Inhale, lifting through the chest, and see if you can press the fingertips down, well, the fingers, the hands down towards the floor as you lift your chest up and squeeze your scapula together. And as you exhale with knees bent, send the hips back and fold all the way down. Hands press up towards the sky and over. You don't have to stay in complete stillness here. Moving and swaying, bending one knee and then the other. And then find stillness. Bend the knees, tuck the chin towards the chest, release the hands. Let your arms hang soft and roll your way all the way up to a stand. Sweep the hands all the way up to the sky. And exhale. Hands to chest. Bring your feet in underneath your hips. Toes pointing forward. Okay, sweep the hands all the way up again. And as you exhale, fold forward. Fingertips to the floor or your shins. And then inhale, lift halfway. And if that is still a lot for you, again, hands can be as high as the knees. Now bend the knees, plant the hands, and step the left foot back. Work your right foot so it's somewhere outside your right hand. Nice. Rock back and forward, our lizard lunge. Following your breath. Okay, now let's straighten out through that right leg. You can tent up onto your fingers here. Stretch the spine forward as you press your right heel into the floor. See how it feels to flex into the right foot and point the toes up towards the sky. As you breathe in, stretch your spine forward more. Right hip back, left hip slightly forward. Now, press into your right heel, left big toe, and rotate all the way to the long edge of your mat. Readjust your feet. Nice. Now here, your knees can be gently bent, your heels out and your toes turned in. That can feel a little bit better for your hips. Breath in, lifting halfway. Now as you exhale, I want you to bend into the left knee, using your hands for support here, stretching through the inner right thigh. And then walking your hands over to the right side. Moving as deep as you need to feel that stretch. You may also feel a lot in the flexed hip here. Avoiding sinking into the left side as you move to the left. And playing around with your foot position, exploring and feeling into the body. Okay, back to our wide-legged forward fold position. And then walk your hands all the way to the front. Set up your feet so they're on train tracks. Tent up your fingertips. Back into our lunge pose. Plant both hands down, step back into your downward facing dog. Nice bent knees, hips tilt towards the sky. Roll your outer arms outward. So, inhale, pressing into your feet, rounding forward into a plank pose. Rolling through the spine. Bend the knees. Lift the hips up towards the sky. And exhale into your plank pose. We're slowly and gently building heat here, whilst at the same time maintaining fluidity through the body and breath. Okay, last one. Pressing the fingers into the floor, lift the hips up towards the sky, high up onto your tiptoes. Move into your plank pose and lower your knees softly down to the mat. Nice. Knees wide, toes touching, your child's pose. A familiar, comfortable space for you to settle and reset. Returning to your breath. Soften your brow. Where can you release your grip? What are you holding on to that you can let go of? Okay, slowly pull yourself back into your tabletop and we'll move into our second side. Left knee presses up to the sky, flexed foot. Left knee out towards the side and rotate it and lower the foot down beside the left hand. Good. And from here, let's walk our hands forward and then over to the right. Walk your left fingertips a little further away than your right. How much stretch can you find through the left ribs here? Good. On your next breath in, we come back to the center. And the left hand reaches all the way to the sky. Holding onto the back of the skull with the left fingertips. Rounding and doming the upper back, rotating as your left elbow reaches the right. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. This time, elbow all the way up to the sky, straighten out the arm, step your right knee back maybe just an inch and reach back towards that right foot. Bend the right knee. And is your foot there? Say hello, feel the cramp, say hello to the cramp. I'm right there with you. And release slowly. All the way down. Straightening out that left leg, lifting the toes up towards the sky, broad through the collarbones, fold in. Inhale, we plant into the right hand, reach the left hand forward, up and open. Maybe each time we move through this posture, or these set of postures, that your foot becomes a little closer than it was when you started. And exhale. Okay. Lift into the back knee. Come up high onto the fingertips. And rock a little back and forward so we can get a little bit of momentum and step the right foot outside the right hand. And back into your passive squat. Pressing your hands firm together, your elbows into your inner thighs. Broadening through the collarbones, lifting the chest. And release, fingertips to the floor. Let's forward fold, spinning your toes forward. And then bend the knees, tuck the chin towards the chest and roll up. Bone by bone, you rise, head lifting last. As you reach the top, your arms move and sweep to the sides and up overhead. Take your gaze softly past the thumbs. Exhale, hands to chest. Breathe in. Hands reach wide and up and over. And exhale. Breathing in. And breathing out. Interlacing your hands again behind your back. And this time, most likely the right thumb on top. Okay, and the other pinky in front. And then a little bend in your knees. Reach and stretch your hands towards the floor, squeezing your shoulder blades together and lifting your chest up to the sky. Now flick your hips back, reach your chest forward. The knees are still bent and fold forward over your thighs. Don't worry about how deep you can get into this posture. If you need to bend your knees a little more, let that happen. But squeeze your shoulder blades together and reach your hands forward towards the front of the room. Let the head hang heavy. Softening tension in your upper shoulders, your neck, your forehead and your eyes. And now bend the knees again. Release the hands and let them hang out in front. And rolling your way back up to stand. Sweep the hands all the way up to the sky again. Hands through heart center. You fold. Chest and forehead leads. Hips press back. A little bend into the knees. This time, the right foot steps back. And we find our way into lizard lunge on the second side. So your fingertips are tented up. You're just pressing off of the right big toe to move you forward and back. Just encouraging a little space into the hips here. Good. Now straightening out through that left leg. And then pressing into the left heel, right big toe. Rotate your way all the way to the right side of your mat. Okay, and so I can face you on the other side. I'm going to turn around. You stay where you are. And exhale. Fold in with bent knees. Press into the fingertips. Lift and lengthen the chest. Bend your knees, lift the hips a little higher. And fold, hinging from the hips again. It doesn't matter how far you fold forward, but we're moving into the space in the hips. Okay, now bending into the right knee. Walking your fingers over to the right side. Bending into the left knee. Walking your fingertips over to the left. Find some fluid flow as you move from the right to left. And working your way all the way forward to your left foot. Plant your hands and step your foot back into downward facing dog. Exhale, your knees come to the floor. Now this time, hands underneath your shoulders. And reach your hands forward again into that familiar space. Puppy pose, melting heart pose. And checking in. How does this puppy pose feel in comparison to when you did it at the start of the practice? For me, at least, I noticed a little niggle in my left shoulder. But for whatever reason, these rotations have cleaned it out and it's no longer there. How about you? Maybe there's a millimeter of difference. And maybe the difference you notice is space in your mind, the softness. Now let's move forward onto our abdomen, coming onto our forearms, and then stepping our knees back. Let's take the left hand out to a T, and your right hand tented just off your mat. Okay, now bend into the right knee, and press into the left side, and step your right foot behind you. Finding a stretch into the front of the shoulder. Now don't worry if your right foot is dangling behind. It's not important what that foot is doing. But breathe into the stretch in the shoulder. And using the right hand to control the intensity, to offer you support and structure. Okay, moving out of that space, all the way back onto your abdomen. Tent up the left fingertips, right hand out long into a T, pressing into the side of your head, and then reaching the left foot over. And play around with this. You may notice that one side is a little easier to move into than the other, but pulsing out and in with soft breath and a soft intention. Can allow you to find that space where you can settle and breathe. Maybe now you relax the left hand down. Maybe you're binding behind the body. Playing around with the position that gives you the most ease. Next breath in, we come all the way back to the center. Okay, and press your hands up. We find a baby cobra. Take the right hand, thread it underneath the left, and keep stretching and pressing it out and out and out until you can roll onto your back. So adjusting any way that allows you to find a little comfort. Take your feet as wide as the mat and drop your knees in towards the center, palms facing the sky. Big breath in and breath out with a sigh. And we will end our practice here. So you can pause here and savor this moment in this shape. Or if you're called to stretch your legs out long into Shavasana position, allow yourself to do that. And I encourage you to stay here for as long as you can, as long as you need. Thank you for practicing with me. Wishing you a beautiful rest of your day. And I'll see you on the mat again soon.